Hey golfers, are you shanking the golf ball? You just can't quite get rid of it? I know the feeling. It is the worst feeling. It's embarrassing. You think it's gone, but then it keeps creeping back up in your game. Well, you came to the right place, because today I'm gonna fix your shank within 5 minutes, and you'll be able to go play golf with the freedom of knowing you're not gonna hit that dreaded shot. So stay tuned and we'll get you all straightened out. My name is Maggie Simons. My friends call me Mags for short because I help them master a great swing. So let's get right to it. If you're shanking the golf ball, simply put, that means that when you make contact, you're not actually hitting the club face. That golf ball is hitting right here on the hosel of the golf club, where the club face and the shaft connect right here. So when you hit that spot, that ball goes dead to the right. So clarifying what a shank is super important, because I have some students that assume that they're hitting it off the toe when the ball shoots straight to the right. Now, that is possible, but most shanks are happening when we're hitting the hosel of the golf club. And there's 3 main reasons that I see with my students on the lesson tee that you would shank the ball. So we're going to go over those 3 reasons and 3 solutions to help you fix it. Reason number 1 why you might be shanking the golf ball might have to do simply with your setup and your posture position. Let me show you. So when we set up, it's super important that our distance and our balance points are correct in our posture to give ourselves the best chance of returning the sweet spot to the golf ball. So if we set up in a position where we're a little bit too crowded to the golf ball, a little bit too close, even though I can make it look like that sweet spot is lined up directly behind the golf ball, you can see when my arms come down in their natural position, nice and straight, that club head is way out in front of the golf ball, and I'm definitely going to be making contact towards the heel. So we want to make sure that our kind of checkpoints in our posture are that our weight is naturally wanting to settle kind of right underneath the end of our shoelaces here. If you're too close to the golf ball, you'll probably find your weight's kind of wanting to hang back towards your heels. That's your way of trying to create a little bit more space. So we want to make sure that our weight is naturally wanting to settle right underneath the end of our laces here, and that when we set up with our arms out straight and we hinge over with our arms straight, that club face is going to naturally come right back behind the golf ball. Again, if I'm too close to it and I do this and I hinge over without making any adjustments to my arms, you can see that club head is way out in front of the golf ball. So making sure that we're nice and balanced underneath the end of our toes. When my arms come down naturally in our posture, then it's lining up with the sweet spot of the golf club. So that's the first thing that we want to check if we're shanking the golf ball. Okay, reason number 2 why you might be shanking the golf ball, and I would say this is the most common reason of my students that I see when they come to me with the shanks. So if our setup is good, if we've checked the balance in our posture, we're not standing too close to the golf ball, but we're still hitting the heel, this is very likely why you might be shanking the golf ball. Again, the most common reason that I see is in our downswing. If our hand path, if that handle of the club pushes out towards the golf ball, away from my body, that inevitably is going to make that heel come down closer to the golf ball. So I saw this visual from my favorite online golf instructor, Eric Cogorno. Check out his videos, ericcogorno.com. He's the best of the best and is the greatest mentor in this online teaching world. But he has a visual in one of his shanking videos of imagining essentially a wall that's right here next to your golf ball. And anytime that club is going to crash into that wall on this side, you're going to be moving the sweet spot around. So we have to make sure when that club is coming down, the club comes inside, it comes down the line, and then it comes back up and around on the other side. At no point should that path be swinging out, crashing into this wall, because now we're going to come into some huge contact issues. So yes, we do swing in a circle, but that circle never crosses into this wall. So if you think this is you, if you tend to slice the ball or come over the top, and this is your typical path, then this is probably the reason why you're shanking the golf ball. And so the best drill to figure out how to fix this is put an object here that you're scared of, but I don't want you to hurt yourself, but I do want it to be a little bit scary for you. So we're going to put, I just have this padded alignment stick. You can use a head cover. I brought a head cover you can put, and we're going to put it about like 2 fingers away from that object in front of you. And the idea is if I hit the sweet spot, I'm not going to hit this wall. If I do hit the heel though and shank it, I would end up crashing into that alignment stick. The first thing that we want to do is we're going to take very small swings, especially if you've been shanking the ball. This might be a little bit of a struggle at first. Our one goal is we have to not hit the wall. Even if you hit it dead off the toe, I'm good with that right now. We're going to make some swings, and again, the only way that I'm going to be able to miss the wall is that hand path's got to come back in closer to my body. And again, if I overdid it and exaggerated it, you can see I would actually come in and hit the toe, and that would probably be a welcome change for those of you that are hitting the heel. I would start just doing little half shots where we're just going to go waist high to waist high, and we're focusing on missing that stick. Now, I can tell you, and I always tell my students this, I can tell you what's technically different when you do it right. I can tell you what I feel when I'm doing a certain drill. I can't tell you what you feel. And that is very, very important, because I don't care what the feeling is as long as it gets you in the right position. You could feel it in your left big toe. And if it gets your hand path to come in closer to your body and you to hit the sweet spot, cool. Is that actually what's happening? No. But the feel doesn't have to be real. So as you're hitting these shots and you're missing that wall, you need to ask yourself while the stick is still there, okay, what feels different? What does it feel like I'm having to do to ensure that I don't crash into that wall? So that way, when we take away the stick, that wall, you will be able to repeat that same feeling. And again, doesn't matter what the feeling is, it might be different for everybody. That's just super important to understand. Okay, so again, I'll do another one here. I'm gonna put that ball about 2 fingers away from that stick. And again, if your fingers are extra large or extra small, essentially you want it to be, if you hit the sweet spot, you're not gonna hit it, but if you hit it towards the heel, you would make contact with this wall. Okay, so again, we're gonna feel waist high. That club's gonna drop in closer to my body. That left arm's gonna come and stay closer to my body instead of wanting to pop out, again, where I would crash into that wall. Right? Sweet spot, feels money, feels like you're hitting a marshmallow when you hit that sweet spot. You see that ball launch nice and straight. You want to do that a few times. Just, you can go as slow as you need to start, little half swings to start, and then you can start to build up into longer swings. But having a barrier there, and again, our instinct to protect ourselves is going to tend to kick in a little bit more when we have an object here that we're kind of scared to hit. Okay, so I'm going to hit one here where I do it incorrectly, where I'm going to push that sweet spot out and crash into that wall. You can see the result that you're gonna get. You're gonna get immediate feedback. So that's a great drill to work on finding the sweet spot if your hand path is coming too far out. Okay, so now part 3. Third reason why you might be hitting a shank. And I would say of the 3 reasons, I see this one the least. But I would say this one tends to come into play if you're someone who is hooking or overdrawing the golf ball, or maybe you've been really trying to fix that slice and really trying to get that swing path really exaggerated out to the right, then this might be the reason that you're hitting the heel. Let me show you. I have a different kind of looking wall here. So before, we were trying to let that club, come in a little bit closer to our body. But if we let it come in and swing too far out to the right, we're also going to crash into that wall. So, again, that visual that when our club is coming through, it's going to be circling in our backswing. It's going to be coming back, in from the inside. It's going to eventually straighten out, but it eventually has to turn the corner onto the other side of our golf swing. So it's eventually got to come back around and up and in on this side. And so for this version of hitting a shank, this person is now swinging out to the right and not letting that hand path and the club circle back in and up on the other side of their golf swing. So just having this little visual here, I bent this noodle a little bit so it has kind of our natural little swing arc here. And I'm gonna take some swings just like the last drill. It's just a little bit different version of it, where, I'm gonna put the ball a couple inches away and I should miss this stick, especially as I come through, because I have to let my hand path circle back up and in on the other side, and not let that pass swing too far out to the right for too long and crash into that wall. So same thing, it's just some little half swings. Really feeling that hand path circling around on the other side. So if you're somebody that's been slicing the ball and have been super focused on getting that path swinging out to the right, you can still have a rightward path. If you're on TrackMan or Launch Monitor, you can still have a path that's swinging out to the right, but we have to control the sweet spot. And that means that as we're coming through, we have to feel that hand path, because it can still be coming from the inside, but now I've got to keep letting it circle. And you can see that the path of my hands can go in and the ball can still launch pretty straight. So missed our little wall here. So I can still feel my hands coming in close, you know, like I'm trying to hit a draw. But again, through impact, I have to let my chest turn. I have to let that club start to circle back around and turn the corner so I can keep that sweet spot on the ball and not let it push out this way. There we have it. 3 reasons that you might be shanking the ball and 3 solutions. We're gonna double check our posture and our balance points, making sure we're not crowding the golf ball too much. And we're gonna put a barrier outside of that golf ball to make sure that we're not pushing that sweet spot out. And starting with small swings, building up to bigger swings as we get more confident, and asking ourselves, most importantly, okay, what does it feel like I'm doing when I miss hitting that wall? So that way we can take that same feeling when we're out on the golf course and be confident that we're gonna find that sweet spot and minimize hitting that weird Al Shankovich on the heel. So I hope you like this video. Please share it with your friends. If you have a buddy that's hitting it off the heel, I know that it will help them too. And also please subscribe to my channel below. I've got new videos coming out every week and I don't want you to miss out on some great golf tips. Thanks for watching and we'll see you later.